you ever had a feeling that someone's watching you, or the sensation of someone following you? Many more feelings and sensations for this is the After Dark podcast. Welcome back, guys, to Episode 8 of the After Dark podcast. I feel like if I am so far away from the mic, hopefully you guys can hear me correctly. And my toolbar is, why you here, toolbar? Please go away. Oh, wait. There we go. Toolbar's gone. Good. Anyways, guys, hopefully you guys are having a really good day. Hopefully you guys had a really good Monday. And hopefully you guys are having a awesome evening tonight. Okay. So, how are you guys? I want to know. I genuinely want to know. Anything spooky has happened lately? Hopefully nothing too major. Because we don't really want to scare ourselves to death, right? Oh, I forgot as well. Let me start this episode off by saying that yesterday I totally forgot the movie recommendation. And the movie recommendation was The Blob. So if you guys haven't seen that movie, you should guys go check it out. It's okay, so I recommend both the original, which I believe it was in 1952, I think, and the remade, which was in 1988. And both of those are pretty good movies. I 100% recommend both of those. So if you guys want to go, check it out. It's, I don't know where you can find it. You can probably rent it or order, some good movies to own physically. Because it's a classic. Come on, everybody likes classics. The mouse is looking right there. There we go. Everybody likes the classics. And The Blob is no exception because to me, it's one of the best sci-fi / horror movies out there. So, go check it out. Check out both of those. Both of the movies are pretty good. So, what were we talking about yesterday? We were talking about a lot of things. A man looking through the mirror, or not the mirror, but like the window. It's not creepy at all, right? But it is. It's very creepy. Very, very creepy. Now, speaking of being creepy, I have seen a lot of YouTube videos out there where there's a live streamer and all of a sudden doors close and they hear something or other. I don't know if it would be true or not, but it is always fun to visualize if it's true or not, right? So it is very much unreal. Before we go on with the stories, I do want to apologize for today's gameplay live stream that we had earlier today. It wasn't supposed to be that, but the Elgato software didn't want to live stream, so it would like load up and then all of a sudden it would stop. And maybe I think I found the thing that like I think that I found that the problem. So probably on Thursday I'll live stream what I was supposed to live stream today. So hopefully, fingers crossed, right? Hopefully that'll work. So being afraid, right? It's something natural. It's been with us ever since men and women have set foot in Earth. Now, if you are religious, you would probably know the story of Adam and Eve, and if it wasn't for Eve's, biting at the apple, would we have fear? Like, okay, let's say, out of curiosity's sake, what if she never bit the apple? You know, would we live in a world, in the same world we live in right now? Hmm. Or where would our bloodlines end? You know what I mean? Like, how far would it go until one of us, or at that, all of us, are seen like brothers and sisters? You know, would we be able to marry, or not? My dog just came to my lap, wanting some praise. What did you do that's right, Evie? Hmm? All right, go play with your llama. Go play with your llama. Go. All right, and that was her shaking. So today we are going to be continuing the stories that we were reading yesterday from the website didyouknowfacts.com, and we were at the seventh story right now. Let's see what's pretty on. And check this out. Or, you know what? We'll read like one or two. Nah, this is three more stories. I might as just well read them, right? 7, 8, 9. This is so long. Like number 10 so long. You know what? Let's start with the expression list. That's the name of this story. Okay. So number 10 in the website's called expression list, and have you? If you guys hear my dog growling, she picks the best times to get my attention with the ball and throw it across the room. So I do apologize for that. And let's begin with the story. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold up. I forgot. We have to begin with the personal story. Personal story. I don't know. I think I ran out of personal stories. I mean, there's only so much that can happen to a person, right? Until the stories become vague. Hmm. Huh. I don't know. We talked about a lot of things that happened to me over the past over my past lives, over my past times. In high school, in middle school, elementary school, when I was 6 years old. So you guys pretty much know a lot about me. A lot about the bad things that has happened to me. I mean, personally, I don't consider it bad because it's just another experience that if it never happened to me in the first place, I wouldn't be the person who I am right now. Or would I? So, hmm. So instead of a story right now, a personal story, I want to start this podcast off with a question. Let's say you never, like, whatever made you guys you today. What if it never happened? So what if like, okay, like, let's say years ago, because you fell like a flight of stairs, all of a sudden you're afraid of heights, and you became a certain person in the future. So what if you never fell down that set of flight of stairs, and you know would you still be the same person you are right now, or would you be someone else, someone completely different? I think if none of the events that happened to me before, I think I would have been a different person, honestly. Speaking of, of with all my honesty in me, because the little things that I know about my birthing mother would be that she was a hardworking woman and religious. So if she would have still been alive to this point, I don't really think you guys will hear me sitting down right here in the After Dark podcast. So I think I would have probably been doing something else at the time, maybe even something boring, who knows, or Maybe even something interesting. Whoever knows? No one knows because that future was never set in stone. So, if you guys can tell me, what would you guys be doing right now if there was, if you would have done something different? So sort of like the butterfly effect, right? So, you do something small right now, but in the future, it can mean a big difference. So, let's get on with the story. The story, unfortunately, we don't have an author for it, but the the title of it's called Expressionless, and it goes like this. In June 1972, a woman appeared inside her Sinai hospital in nothing but a white blood-covered gown. Oh, wait a minute. Before I continue, I think I know this one. I think. Okay. Now, this in itself should be too surprising as many people often have accidents nearby and come to the nearest hospital for medical attention. But there were two things that caused people who saw her to vomit and flee in terror. The first being that she wasn't exactly human. She resembled something close to a mannequin, but had the dexterity and the fluidity of a normal human being. Her face was as flawless as a mannequin's, devoid of eyebrows and smeared in makeup. There was a kitten clamped in her jaws so unnaturally tight that no teeth would be seen, and the blood was still squirting out of her gown and onto the floor. She then pulled it out of her mouth, tossed it aside, and collapsed. From the moment she stepped aside, from the moment she stepped through the entrance to when she was taken to a hospital room and cleaned up before being prepared for sedation, she was completely calm, expressionless, motionless. The doctors thought it'd be best to restrain her until the authorities could arrive, and she did not protest. They were unable to get any kind of response from her, and most of the staff members felt too uncomfortable to look directly at her for more than a few seconds. But the second the staff tried to sedate her, she fought back with extreme force. Two members of the staff had to hold her down as her body rose up onto the bed with the same blank expression. She turned her emotionless eyes towards the male doctors and did something unusual. She smiled. As she did, the female doctor screamed and let go of the shock. In the woman's mouth, they were not human teeth, but long, sharp spikes. Too long for her mouth to close fully without causing any damage. The male doctor stared back at her for a moment before asking, "What the hell are you?" She cracked her neck down to her shoulders to observe him still smiling. There was a long pause. The security had been alerted and could be heard coming down the hallway. As she heard them approach, she darted forward, sinking her teeth into the front of his throat, ripping out his jugular and letting him fall to the floor, gasping for air as he choked in his own blood. She stood up and leaned over him, her face coming dangerously close to his as the life faded from his eyes. She leaned closer and whispered to his ears, "I am God." The doctor's eyes filled with tears, the doctor's eyes filled with fear as he watched her calmly walk away. To greet the security men, his last ever sight would be watching her feet on them, one by one. The female doctor who survived the incident named her the Expressionless. There was never a sighting of her again. A woman who looked almost mannequin-like comes into a hospital, and towards the end, claiming that she is God, as she started to feast on security guards and everybody around her. Very interesting, because I've read this story before. As soon as I saw the beginning, in June 1972, a woman appeared in Cedar Sinai Hospital in nothing but a white, blooded, covered gown. So I pretty much knew what the story was about already, and I like this story. It's very interesting because you're at your workplace. You're pretty much where you feel dominant, right? Because you've been working there for so long, so you know every nook and cranny, and you're pretty much the better you in your work environment because you know it so well. But as soon as something as disturbing as this comes in, you start questioning, like, what's gonna happen? The doctor stood there, like the old saying of a captain, I think it was a pirate ship, like a pirate captain would say, or just a captain in general of a sea vessel that would say, "I would rather sink with my ship than abandon it." So maybe he thought that way. He was understood his ground until the end, but without fighting back. But the question is, would you guys fight back to something that you would see right in front of you? Woman or not? Children or not? What would you guys do if something as horrifying was laid out in front of you and came closer to you? Would you fight for your life or run for it? Either way, it seems very troublesome, right? This next story is called "The Woman in the Oven," which sounds pretty interesting. And we're going from 10, 9, 8, and 7. So that's how it is. So during the summer of 1983, in a quiet town near Minneapolis, Minnesota, the charred body of a woman was found inside the kitchen stove of a small farmhouse. A video camera was also found in the kitchen, standing on a tripod pointing at the oven. No tape was found inside the camera at the time. Although the scene was originally labeled as a homicide by police, an unmarked VHS tape was later discovered at the bottom of the farm's well, which had apparently dried up earlier that year. Despite its worn condition in the fact that it contained no audio, police were still able to view the contents of the tape. It depicted it showed a woman recording herself in front of a video camera, seamlessly using the same camera as the police found in the kitchen. After positioning the camera to include both her and her kitchen stove in its view, she turned on the oven, opened the door, crawled inside, and she closed the door behind her. After 8 minutes into the video, the oven could be seen shaking violently at this point, thick black smoke emitted from it. For the remaining 45 minutes of the video, until the battery in the camera died, it remained in its stationary position. To avoid disturbing the local community, the police never released any information about the tape, or even the fact that it was found. Police were also not able to determine who put the tape in the well, or why the height and stature of the woman in the video did not come close to matching the body that they had found in the video. So they found a body, but it didn't match what they saw afterwards. So after the damage was done, the police pretty much came in the house and just scooped up the remains. After they discovered the VHS tape, they found yet another woman just going inside the oven. So maybe because the body didn't really match the same thing that they found. Maybe this was somebody else trying, or not trying, but like doing the same thing, and the woman that they found was the next victim. Maybe more than one person did crawl inside that oven that day, but we may never know. This next story is called Mariana Mordegard Glesgore. I do apologize if I butcher this name because I don't think it's English. And he goes, there's a video on YouTube named Mariana Mordegard Glesgore. If you search this, you'll find nothing. The few times you find something, all you see is a 20-second video of a man staring intensely at you expressionlessly. Then grinning for the last 2 seconds, the background is unidentified. This is only part of the actual video. The full video lasts 2 minutes and was removed by YouTube after 153 people who viewed the video gouged out their eyes and mailed it to the YouTube's main office in San Bruno. Said people had also committed suicide in various ways. It is not yet known how they managed to mail their eyes after gouging them out. The cryptic inscription they carved in on their forearms has not yet to be deciphered. YouTube will periodically put up the first 20 seconds of the video to quell suspicions, so that people will not go look for the real thing and upload it. The video itself was only viewed by one YouTube staff member who started screaming after 45 seconds. This man is now under constant sedation and is apparently unable to recall what he saw. The other two people who were in the same room as him while he viewed it and turned off the video for him say that they heard at the time was a high-pitched drilling sound. One of them dared look in the screen. The person who uploaded the video was never found. The IP address was being non-existent, and the man in the video was never been identified. This story pretty much ties in to another haunted video or YouTube video that I came across a couple times on YouTube before, and not surprising, because if you're a ghost, you're pretty much targeting everybody in the world at this point, right? Because everybody uses YouTube at one point or another. In the background, right now, I don't know if you can hear it, but my mom is actually using YouTube right now, watching somebody explain how to make a dish or bake a bread. So everybody uses YouTube nowadays, and we got to be careful on what we see on YouTube. Also, this story pretty much goes with the same story that I read a while back again, of Japan, when I believe it was Pokemon Red came out, and it was pretty much called the Lavender Town Syndrome, where the original soundtrack of the town, the Lavender Town, if you guys can hear it in your head, just by me telling you guys this, you pretty much play, it means that you played Pokemon Red at one point. But if you can visualize it and start hearing the music in your head, supposedly that is not the actual audio for it. The actual audio for it was a lot more deeper. In other words, it pretty much controlled little kids at the time, had them hospitalized for some time. Who knows if it's real or not? This last story is called White with Red. A man went to a hotel and walked up to the front door. to the front desk to check in. The woman at the desk gave him his keys and told him that on the way to his room, there was a door with no number that was locked and no one was allowed in there. She explained that it was a storeroom and that it was out of bounds. She reminded him of this several times before allowing him upstairs, so he followed the instructions of the woman in the front desk, going straight to his room and going to bed. However, the insistence of the woman had piqued his curiosity, so the next night he walked down the hall at the door and tried the handle. Sure enough, it was locked. He bent down and looked through the keyhole, to the wide keyhole. Cold hair passed through it, chilling his eye. What he saw was a hotel bathroom, like this. And in the corner was a woman whose skin was incredibly pale. She was leaning her head against the wall, facing away from the door. He stared in confusion for a while. Was this a celebrity? The owner's daughter? He almost knocked on the door out of curiosity, but decided not to. As he was still looking, the woman turned sharply and he jumped back from the door, hoping she would not suspect he had been spying on her. He crept away from the door and walked back to his room. The next day, he returned to the door and returned to the door and looked through the wide keyhole. This time, all he saw was redness. He couldn't make anything out of it besides a distinct red color, unmoving. Perhaps the inhabitants of the room knew he was spying the night before and had blocked the keyhole with something red. My dog scared me. Hold on, we'll pause right here. Let my dog do her thing, because she did hear another dog outside barking. And I'm not kidding you guys, I almost jumped out of my seat. Oh my god, that scared me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I felt my bones trying to get off my body. Oh, damn it. She barks like if, dogs are out there pretty much calling her. Like in the Rapunzel movie. Instead of Rapunzel, it's Evie. Evie, let down your hair. And I forgot the rest of the line of the movie, but she makes it seem that way. It's like if she's some important a dog to other dogs out there, being like, yeah, I'm a celebrity, I'm here. Okay, where did I leave off? The door was locked. Color unmoving, perhaps in evidence. Distinct color, perhaps in evidence of spying. Okay, something red. Okay, I found myself. Okay, and it goes. He felt embarrassed that he had made the woman so uncomfortable and hoped she had not made a complaint with the woman in the front desk. At this point, he decided to consult her for more information. She sighed and said, Did you look through the keyhole?" The man told her that he had, and she said, "Well, I might as well tell you the story of what happened in that room. A long time ago, a man murdered his wife in there, and we find that even now, whoever stays there gets very uncomfortable. But these people were not ordinary. They were white all over, except for their eyes, which were red." This story pretty much is, like curiosity killed the cat. It's like a story, I believe, like, my grandma, my mom, pretty much told me. She said that it's like an old wives' tale. She said that there was a woman, changing her clothes, right, like in her balcony, and like boys would come out, like come through the street or something like that without even noticing her, right? And she would immediately call out to them and be like, "Hey, don't look this way because I'm changing." Of course, if you would say that, you would turn around. right? You would want to see what's going on, even though if you were told not to. But in the first place, why would you say that, right? Why would you say, "Don't look at me, I am changing," if nobody's noticing you? Don't try to get attention from someone or something else. Same thing with this woman. She kept telling the man, don't look through the door, don't touch the door, don't even smell the door. If you're thinking about how it tastes like wood, so don't taste it." And she kept reminding him of it. He got curious, obviously, because he was being told countless times not to do it. So what happens? He does it. The end got me weird. It says, let me see. A long time ago, a man murdered his wife in there, and we find that even now, whoever stays there gets very uncomfortable. But those people were not ordinary people. They were all white. They were white all over, except for their eyes, which were red. Man, hotel. Yeah, it doesn't explain why she would say that, but these people were not ordinary. They were white all over except for their eyes, which were red. Yeah, it doesn't really do a really good job on explaining why he said that to the man. Maybe the man was one of those strange people, white all over with red eyes. Right now, I can't hear anything. There we go. I was like, why I can't hear anything with my earphones? Because I think my earphones are finally messing up. Oh boy. It only costed $25, but come on. Alright, $25 can go a long way. Anyways, guys, this definitely has been all of the stories for this website called didyouknowfacts.com forward slash. Oh, hold up. Forward slash. Okay, wait, hold up. I can't. Okay, forward slash. The 10 horror stories the internet offers. So, yeah. And it's by Noah Berman again. If you guys want to go check it out, you can do so as well. Today. Nope. Wrong thing that I was going to put. Today, I was pretty much going to. I was pretty much gonna read like other country stories, right? Like because I don't want to stay here in the United States because you can only go so far by telling a scary story. If you want scary stories, then you go overseas because it's places where you've never been. And if you have been and you hear scary stories about it, then you start saying, "Wait, what? I was just there. I can't be." I couldn't find any because, like I said, I'm a busy person during the day, and usually when I find stories, it's at night. Just like I intended it to be, right? I can't put that there. Put this right here like this. There we go. That's beautiful. So I'll definitely try to find like horror stories from other places for tomorrow's podcast. Meanwhile, I found the creepiest urban legends in every state. So we're still in the United States, and the website for this is called thrillist.com / travel nation creepiest. Hold up, can I? Okay, there we go. Well, it's the wrong one. Okay, so it is called thrillist.com / travel / nation / creepiest dash urban dash legend dash in dash every dash state dash American dash folklore. Let's not save that there, please. Delete this. I don't want to save it there, but I was skimming through these and they seem interesting. And the author for this page is called Thrillist features and published on the 10 on October 1st, 2017. So last year, we already have a year with this, and the the header of this goes. They're whispered around campfires, passed down from generation to generation. They spark fear in the hearts and minds of children and adults alike. Their subjects take many shapes, be they bloodthirsty creatures of the night, vengeance-seeking ghouls, or sinister vortices. And each time they are told, the terror spreads. America is a country rich in folklore, a place where cautionary tales have always been mixed into the pot and sprinkled into our collective nightmares. Yet, some of our nation's eeriest and most persistent stories, uh, whether because they're rooted in the community lore or used as means to synthesize local tragedy. Don't travel far. Never fear, or actually please do fear. We've tracked down the creepiest urban legends in all 50 states, and the macabre bunch of stories is certain to freak you out, no matter where you live. Let me take a quick sip of water, and we'll continue. Oh, okay. That was some good H2O. Anyways, so this is pretty much why. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't really want to say it yet. I think I'll say it on the 10th episode on why I started this podcast, or why I even had the idea to do a radio show with horror stories in it. So, that'll wait. Meanwhile, let me see. I'm trying to think of a personal story, and I cannot because I think I have said them all already. It's already been the 7th episode, and I've already said them all. You know what? Thinking back now, I should have just said one personal story per episode, and it is haunting me. Whew. Man, what if you guys were traveling elsewhere, Asia or elsewhere? You know what I'm talking about? Like, would you want to hear horror stories from that certain spot, or would you try to keep it as away from you as possible? I personally like it. I do. You know, it's very interesting. I think my dog's about to bark again because I did hear the dog out bark. I don't know what's his dealio. Stray dogs. Hopefully they find homes. You know, I mean, I don't really like watching dogs outside. Stray dogs outside, because it's heartbreaking. You know, you see them and you want to take them in, but you can't because you live in an apartment, just like me. If I could, I would take in all of the homeless douche and just live with them, have fun. But yes, it's personal stories. I think I should have just wait. I got one more. Right? I just remembered one. It's not much of a horror story, but it's more of a oh crap, what have I just seen story, you know? So, it was when I used to live in Pomona, and I believe it was around 10 p.m., 11 p.m., maybe even later because everybody was asleep at the time, and we used to share a house. We share a house with two of my uncles and my dad. Me and my cousin would, like, you know, sleep over. So I believe either everybody was gone out to a party or everybody was asleep, because after what happened, I didn't see anybody. So they were probably most likely out. So it was just me, my mom, and my cousin trying to sleep. So I was a high schooler, and back then, my screen just went dark. Please, screen, stop doing that. I would appreciate you. Thank you. So back then, MySpace, I don't know if you guys remember it or you guys don't know what MySpace is. MySpace was a big deal. All right, so if you had MySpace, you were pretty much technically considered one of the cool kids, right? So I was on MySpace, doing whatever MySpace kids used to do back then. I can't remember. God, would I want to do it again? Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, MySpace now, it's more of it's geared towards musicianists, right? So more like a SoundCloud, but MySpace, I don't know. Anyways, MySpace just went in a whole different other direction, but that's not the point. The point is, I was a kid. I was on MySpace. I was either I was editing my page, because the thing I like about MySpace is that you could actually edit your page however way you want. You go to a website, you copy the HTML, and you post it in there. And by the way, a little known fact about me as well, because of MySpace, I started to get like curious about HTMLs and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, I started wondering, how do people hack? And I would like to hack. And I remember coming across this game. I don't know. It's like something about quote unquote, teaches you how to hack. And I forgot the name of the game. The name of the game, but it felt real to me. Okay. But anyways, the point is, I got tired, so I went to YouTube. And what do we do on YouTube? We look at videos. And there was this video. I remember that I clicked, and I didn't know what the hell was gonna happen. I don't, and you guys probably seen it. It's about where like the car like is driving through like a mountain, and all of a sudden the car disappears, and somebody just like pops up in front of your screen and scares you. I was watching that video that night, and like I said, I didn't know what was gonna happen. So when the car disappeared, I was like, oh, okay, well, it's gone. And then next thing you know, that damn thing just popped up in my face. I was about to scream and just punch the screen. I was about to scream and about to punch the screen, just like in that other video where like this kid was shown the picture of the Exorcist and just screamed and just punched through the screen. So I was about to do that, but instead, I had a laptop. Fucking shut that thing down as fast as I could. I didn't even I didn't even click out of Facebook. Just close the laptop, and that's it. And that's not the part. That was pretty much the beginning, in other words. So what happened was, I started seeing sirens. And now, when I used to live in this house in Pomona High School, in Pomona, California, the street, like the intersection, like I was pretty much in the corner, and I hate living in corners because it's just annoying. But I used to live in the corner, and that particular street was blocked off because due to it was under construction, right? So it was all dirt, mountains and piles of dirt everywhere, so cars couldn't pass. It pretty much felt like a cul-de-sac at that point, and it felt pretty cool. You can skate in the street without worrying about no cars trying to murder you. So that was pretty cool. But I saw sirens outside the thing, right? And I saw feet shuffling. And all of a sudden, I see somebody running. And not a police guy. It was more of a man. It was like a man. And everybody was pointing their guns at him. And my mom woke up and she said, get down because something bad's gonna happen. So when they told this man to put his hands up, he did, and he had a gun, and unfortunately for the man, he got killed right in front of my doorstep. Right in front of it. Just collapsed. I don't know to this day. I don't know if the building across, like wherever they were pointing at, if it still has the bullet holes, but if they were visible, and hopefully the family that lived in the other side of the apartment was okay. But so this man dies in front of my house, and I see it all. Like a couple minutes later, the police comes and knocks, and you know, it says standard things. Are you guys okay? Did you guys see anything? And you know, we just said, yeah, we just saw you guys murdered somebody. What the hell was that about? A couple days later, they actually found out that the man, or like it got released to the public that the man wasn't holding a real gun. It was a toy gun, and he got killed. So that was not a scary story. That was like I said, that was like a what the hell did I just see kind of moment, because I had just gotten scared out of my face with that damn video, and all of a sudden, a couple minutes later, I see someone die in front of my house. Huh? That is very tough. Very very tough. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. But, anyways, let me take a little bit of water, and we will read. So, this is kind of weird because it does say, like, it has two sections to the story, and it says that, like, why it's creepy, and the other section is where it comes from. So this I guess you could say it's like an urban, like a legend, like an urban legend, but this urban legend comes from Alabama. All right, sweet home Alabama. Coming home to you. I don't know how it goes. Okay. Anyways, the story comes from Alabama and it's called Dead Children's Playground. All right, and this is why it's creepy. This eerie playground, adjacent to Maple Hill, Huntsville's oldest cemetery, doesn't just have an eerie nickname for fun. The playground was presumably designed to entertain kids while their parents visited the graves of loved ones. Legend has it, though, the spirits of children who've been buried in the cemetery since the first grave was dug there in 1822 came out to play at night. The living have observed orbs of light going down the slide, see swings moving on their own, and even heard giggling. Creepier still, some say the spirits include victims of rash child murders that happened in the 60s, when bodies were rumored to have been found in the area that now houses the playground. And this urban legend pretty much comes from the playground itself wasn't open until 1985, so you can imagine how much pent up energy the tiny spirits had after 163 years without a slide. In 2007, the city tried to raise the park to make more room for graves and remove the slide and swings overnight. After public outcry, it was replaced with more modern equipment, making it slightly less creepy to look at, and also probably resulting in some happier ghosts. And this comes from a person named Andy Kriza. If you live in Alabama, can you confirm this, if it's true or not? The Dead Children's Playground, adjacent to Maple Hill, Huntsville oldest cemetery? I don't know, but it sounds legit, and I would really want to know if it's true or not. Like the Bermuda Triangle. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. I'm not tired. It's just a habit, I think. I don't know, but it's just like the Bermuda Triangle, where planes, boats, and pretty much anything that sets foot in there disappears. I remember watching it was like a documentary, I think in the National Geographic Channel, or I believe in the Discovery Channel, one of them two. I do apologize. That they found traces of planes that were not supposed to be there underwater, like near the Bermuda Triangle. So yeah, I believe in all that. Okay, everything I'm gonna read in this, let me tell you personally, I believe in it. I am a firm believer. The Bermuda Triangle, Bigfoot. A lot of people are gonna call me crazy, but Bigfoot exists. including my mom. She doesn't believe in Bigfoot, but I told her one. I told her one day, what if, because we don't live close to the mountain, but we it's like, how can I say it? It's like, it's probably like a 30-minute or 20-minute drive going upwards. All right, so we live almost right next to the mountain. And I told her one day, I'm like, you know what? You don't believe in Bigfoot so much. What would you do if Bigfoot would come and knock on your door and said, "Hey, can I have a cup of sugar?" Okay, first of all, that would be funny. Okay, but what would you do? And she started laughing, and she goes like, "Well, first of all, I would have been like, why you need sugar?" And I was like, "Woman, please stop ruining this." Damn it. But I do believe in Bigfoot. You know, believe in everything, even in aliens. They're up there somewhere. All right, aliens are up there somewhere, and they do believe. I mean, they do believe. Um, they exist. It's just like the question that I read the other day. Like, I forgot who said it. I'll look up the quote and I'll like give credit to it. But they said, whether we live alone in the universe or someone's out there, it's equally as terrifying, or something along those lines. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'll try to look it up right now. Meanwhile, how are you guys? How are you guys today? Hopefully, you guys are having a really good day. Can I please find the quote, please? I forgot who said it too, man. Something about living alone in the universe. One more time. I'll look it up one more time, and if I can find it, I'll keep going with the story. But I like that quote because either way, if we live alone in this vast universe, it's still scary because what if aliens don't exist and we are the only living thing out there? What would you guys do? Just give me 1 second. We'll see if I can find it. Okay. I think I found it. Okay, yeah, I think it is. I think it's this one. It's by a man named Arthur C. Clarke. And he said, two possibilities exist. Either we live alone in the universe, or we're not alone. Both are equally terrifying. And I believe it. I I believe it because if we are alone in the universe, we are the only living things and organisms all around space. What would we do if we all cease to exist? Hmm? Or what if we're not alone and beings like celestial? Oh, here it comes. My the project that I've been working on, the celestial beings, right? So, what if they are looking down at us, studying us, looking at us, or better yet, put it this way: what if we are just like an ant colony for them? Both both are equally as terrifying as the next. So this next one comes from Alaska, which a little known fact about your boy here. I do want to move to Alaska. It's far away from a lot of things, and I would like to live there. So Alaska, and it's called the Alaska Triangle. And here is why it's creepy. Ooh, that's a big word. Hold up. Encompassing area ranging from near Juneau in the southeast to the northern Barrow region to the western metropolis of Anchorage. Okay, hold up. Before I go on, I do apologize for my pronunciations of these words. I don't know English. I never read these words before in my life, so I do not know how you pronounce them. I don't know how you say them. I'm just winging it right now. Okay, so I do apologize. If you're listening in Alaska, please don't be mad. I am just a lonely boy. Okay, so in the metropolis of Anchorage. Okay, I don't know. Alaska's answer to Bermuda Triangle is comprised some of the most barren wilderness in the U.S. and it apparently craves souls. More than 20,000 people have gone missing without a trace in the area during the past half century alone. Are they being consumed by mythological beings like the beastly, oh, here we go, the names, Kilut, or the ghoulish kidnapper Kalupalik? Oh, I don't know how to pronounce them. Anyways, lost on extreme hikes or simply vanishing into a dark vortex, nobody knows. Though it's not far lacking of trying. When the government lost House Majority Leader Hale Boggs Cessna to the Triangle in 1972, a massive search turned up tons of conspiracy theories, but no bodies. And where it came from is the area has been associated with evil spirits and Tlingit lore for centuries, attributed trickster demons for luring people into an icy death. Others believe that there exist amid an electromagnetic influence vile vortex. Still, others think it's a Darwinian result of an explorer taking on nature. Regardless, the area continues to claim people, and underneath the massive blanket of snow and rocks likely lies one of the largest and best preserved mass graves in the world. And it is written by someone named AK. So, again, if you live in or around Alaska, please let me know if it is true or not. I would like to know, because I have read something about this, and wow, I mean, just imagine if the bodies are underneath everybody and what is covering them is just pretty much blankets and blankets of snow. The question is though, would you guys go for a hiking trip, or would you guys follow your friends being like, yeah, let's go to Alaska, near Juneau in the southeast? Would you do that? Or would you just leave it alone? You don't want to be a part of the 20,000 victims the underneath the snow. I want to know what you guys think. I really genuinely do. You know. This next story or legend is based on Arizona. Yeah, I'm talking about Arizona, you know, the state that's right next to us. Right next to us. And it's called skinwalkers. I know what skinwalkers are. I do. And it goes. It's easy to feel uneasy while driving through the desolated desert roads of Arizona, especially at night. And particularly so when you hear a short burst of taps on your window while cruising at 60 miles per hour, and turn to see the shape-shifting, mutilated half-human, half-creature responsible for the high-speed interruption. And relax, okay? It's only trying to rip the flesh off your bones. This legend is so in, ingrained in Arizona culture that when a Navajo woman was found brutally murdered in Flagstaff, the accused killer's defense in court was that the attack could have only been perpetrated by a skinwalker. That's even a defined and well documented portion of the state known as Skinwalker Ranch, where you are most likely to see one of the creatures, not that you actually want to. Skinwalkers, okay, I'm gonna be frank with y'all. I love Native American culture. I really do. Okay, from everything they stand for to what they did in the past, just absolutely love it. Um, Stories, however, I cannot stand because they freak me out. They freak me out the most from other stories that I read, right? Because they seem and they feel so real. I sure as hell wouldn't want to come across no skinwalker or a wendigo because no, I just nope. Skinwalker Ranch can stay in Arizona. Stay in Arizona. Bad Arizona. Go to your room, Arizona. We don't we don't want your creepiness over here, please. So, this is where it comes from. The Skinwalker, like so many ancient American urban legends, have roots in Native American folklore. While it's fairly hard to gather specific details, as speaking of potential sinister legends is seriously taboo in Navajo culture. It is understood that the non-Navajo refers to as skinwalkers are witch doctors who have become an evil reflection of everything the Navajo nation values. Basically, there are men who've transformed into malevolent, murderous creatures that have no qualms, using their spiritual power to kill. Navajo medicine men are trained to learn both good and evil aspects of the power, and skinwalkers are just those who have turned to the dark side. It's all very Star Wars like, and frankly, it's still terrifying. Again, I love Native American culture. You know, their people are amazing. I really do. 100%. They are an amazing human race. But I don't want to hear no stories. Please. They are very, very creepy to me. I just don't know. It is so weird. Crap, I just okay, wait. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna read two more stories. Okay, the first one is called "It Comes from Arkansas," and oh, actually, hold up. Before I continue, if you guys live in Arizona, please let me know if it's true or not, because I believe it 100%. I believe it, but I want to know what you guys think. Tell me. So this next story comes from Arkansas, and the creature in. Oh, and by the way, the Arizona um the story and like detailed description is from a person named Will Fulton. So credit to him. So yeah, Arkansas. This next urban legend is called the Dog Boy. Okay, and this is why it's creepy. The name sounds kind of goofy, or actually even kind of like Goofy, but if you find yourself at 65 Millbury Street in the middle of the minuscule minuscule Arkansas town of Quitman, you won't laugh if you see the hulking outline of a 300-pound half man, half beast, complete with glowing animal eyes, glaring at the window, out of the window, walking quickly as he has been known to chase people down his street, biting at their heels, kind of like a dog actually. And this is where it comes from. This is actually the rare urban legend where the behind the story ends up being even creepier than the folklore. Gerald Bettis, the only son of the Bettis family of 65 Mulberry, was always a problem child, but not in the cute, not in the cute junior Haley way. Bettis would collect and torture animals, hence the dog boy. Um, Before turning his sociopathic focus on elderly parents, allegedly imprisoning them in their own home, and potentially even murdering his father. Eventually, Bettis would be imprisoned for growing marijuana on his back porch, and would die in a state penitentiary in 1988 of a drug overdose. And this one is by W.F. Okay, so first of all, how you die of an overdose, dude? Like, fucking kidding me? What? Like, I thought he was gonna. First of all, I thought he was gonna go down, on guns blazing, because he was such a murderer. But he apparently just killed animals and I believe his parents, and that was enough. That was pretty much enough to send him to a penitentiary. But he didn't. Um, Let me see. Bettis was imprisoning them. Holmes eventually Bettis was imprisoned for. So he got imprisoned for growing marijuana in the back porch, and he didn't get imprisoned because he killed his parents. Like, what? What kind of world are we living in? Damn it! I don't know. It makes no sense. But if you do live in Arkansas and you live near 65 Millbury Street, in the middle of the minuscule Arkansas town of Quitman, let me know, because like I said, I genuinely want to know. So this last urban legend we're gonna be ending it with is from here in California, and I was hoping to God I wasn't gonna read none of this because I live in California. So it goes like this. The urban legend is called The Many Horrors of Turnbull Canyon. Jesus Christ, the first sentence. Okay, it goes. Located near LA between Whittier and City of Industry, and let me tell you first of all, I used to live near Whittier. Hold up. ¿Dónde está Whittier? ¿Dónde está la calle Whittier? ¿Vivíamos cerca de ella? Yes, thank God I don't. Thank God I don't live there anymore. Okay, so the Whittier and City of Industry Turnbull is a 49,000-acre smog smorgasbord of a nightmare fuel set amid in the scenic hills. You want your scares rooted in American history? Question mark. The natives called it Hutuk. Okay, spell it out. Hutuk Hutugna. I don't know. Or the place of the devil, where the ghost of the slain for not converting to Christianity dwell alongside witches and Satanists, who reportedly used the place to sacrifice children, whose spirits now walk the canyon and dangle from trees. They're joined by the ghost of 21 kids who perished in a plane crash back in '52, allegedly. As there is no existing records of it, then there's the remains of an old insane asylum that came back to life to kill a teen in the '60s via long dormant electrical wires. There's a cult. There are cults, alien encounters, gravity hills, and the list goes on and on. Basically, if it's something that gets under your skin, there's a story about it happening in this seemingly cursed canyon. And this is where it comes from. The place's evil vibes date back centuries. Uh, though it wasn't until the site was established as a fur trapping site in 1845 that things started getting really intense, with words of the site's terrors traveling far and wide and making it to a place visited as much for its beauty as morbid curiosity. And this is brought to you by someone named AK. Again, I am not going back to LA. Nope, I was so near that I didn't even know that. Dude, look at this. If you guys live near Whittier and hold up. Whittier and the City of Industry around Turnbull, let me know. I genuinely want to know now because I used to live like minutes, or probably like around minutes away from Whittier. You know, it's not fun, dude. What the hell's that? Oh my god! And I was born in LA, dude. I don't. Oh my goodness, that is very very creepy. Anyways, guys, that was the last story for tonight. That pretty much sent chill down my spine because, like I said, I used to live in LA, and I did not know that story existed. Because if I did, let me tell you guys, I wouldn't be near it. I would move like this. Trust me. So, with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching. And let me apologize for two things. Let me apologize for today's live stream that, the gameplay live stream that I did with the Guacamole. That was a pretty good game. I might keep playing it. So, maybe even do videos of it. So, who knows. But I do apologize for that. I was supposed to live stream some Mario Maker and Mario Kart 8. Not deluxe, unfortunately, but, it came with the Wii. And I wanted to see it. So, I wanted to... that rhymed. And I wanted to, I wanted to play it live with you guys. So, but I do apologize for that, not having that live stream up. Hopefully maybe by Thursday, I believe, I can get it running. But, I do apologize. And tomorrow, it's going to be Overwatch Mondays, but on Tuesdays, because of the Halloween event that I want to partake. So, I want to apologize for that, one. And two, I want to apologize for not giving out the movie recommendation for yesterday night. Dude, I left you guys hanging. Kind of host am I? Okay, so yesterday's recommendation was The Blob. Okay, so see both of them, the original and the remake. They were both good, awesome movies. All right, for tonight's recommendation, before anything else. All right, actually, you know what? Yeah. So for tonight's recommendation, let me see what is in the old DVD bank up in my head. Let me see. I don't know. Oh, my screen went black again. Come on, screen, please. Thank you. I don't know what to I know, like, I have so many movies running up in my head. But I know it's a cult classic. It's horror yet comedy at the same time. So, you guys ready for this? The movie is called Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Boom. Movie recommendation for tonight if you guys want to see it. It is a fantasy / parody film. Apparently it's a PG-13 movie, so the whole family can watch. It is an hour and 28 minutes, so come on, you guys have an hour and 28 minutes to spare tonight. So if you guys have it, dig it up. If you guys don't have it, go look for it, own it, because that movie is pretty nice. It's a pretty nice movie, to say the least. So the movie came out in 1988. I was gonna say 1888. I was gonna be like, damn son, that's an old ass movie. In 1988, and let me see. All right, I got the details here. The details. Okay, so its release date was on May 27, 1988, here on ye old USA. The director was Stephen Chiodo. What else? A film series, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Screenplay, Stephen Chiodo, Charles Chiodo, and Edward Chiodo. I believe these are brothers. I do believe so. So they're like the Chiodo brothers. Okay. So hold up. Let me go to the wiki. Alright, so Yeah, so pretty much the Chiodo brothers just went to town with this movie, and they came up with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So go check it out. It is a pretty good movie. It's 88 minutes. It's English. Okay, it's a pretty good movie. If you guys are afraid of clowns, tough enough. It's not that scary. Okay, so Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's crazy. That's what the poster says here. So it's crazy, and it's a pretty good movie. So go watch it. With that being said, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I will leave a link in the description below. You can follow me. I'll follow you back. Don't worry about it. I would like to know my subscribers. People who actually follow me. We'll get to know each other. We're friends. Remember that. So you can follow me. You can send me messages. DM me. I like to talk. All right. I like to make new friends. Send me messages. Send me pictures, memes as well. Because I like to laugh too. Come on, who doesn't? If you guys have any clips for me to see, like video clips, like video game clips, I would like to see them. Very interesting. Also, if you guys have any scary stories, you can send them to me over on Twitter with the hashtag TheAfterDarkPodcast or hashtag TADP. Once again, the hashtag TheAfterDarkPodcast or hashtag TADP. And, I'll gladly read them and give credit where credit is due. Say your name, say your Twitter. And yeah, because I would like to interact with you guys even more. Okay. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, you can do so as well. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. I am an artist. I like to draw digitally and traditionally, and I do post from Wednesday. I like to post every Wednesday and Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. California time. But since it is October, I am partaking in a challenge, an Inktober challenge, which is pretty much me. I was gonna say forcing myself. I'm not forcing myself to do it, but I want to do it. I am drawing every day and posting every day, and I am showcasing some of the designs that I have for my project Celestial, like we were talking about. The skies, the universe, the stars. So Celestial. Today I posted a picture of what I like to call the Llama Mama. So if you want to check her out, like the description says in the picture, have your tickets ready. She'll gladly take you to the cosmos, but remember to have your tickets, because it's not gonna be nice when you show up with no tickets. Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys are watching this after the live stream, I really do appreciate you. You guys are amazing. If you guys were in the live stream, I really do appreciate you too. You guys are just amazing group of people. And what else? Once again, I do apologize. And yeah, I mean, tomorrow we're still gonna be reading these stories from thethrillist.com. So look out for them. Okay. And on that note, remember to always look under your bed. Check the closet for monsters. And always, look behind you, because you may never know who is watching you from afar. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night.